It's the final Podcast Patriot News Show Christmas edition.
Hello, ladies and gents. I'd like to welcome you to a very special Christmas edition of the final Podcast Patriot News Show. I'm your host, Jon Rodrigo. We're here today with probably the biggest guest we've ever had to date. His time is limited, so I'm going to get straight to it. Without further ado, let us welcome in the studio, via satellite, Kris Kringle, also known as St. Nicholas, or better yet, Santa Claus to much of the world. Welcome, Mr. Claus.
Hi, John. Please, you can call me Santa, or Kris, it's fine.
Wow, thanks, Santa. Ever since I was a young blue kid, I dreamt about being a newscaster and talking to you.
Well, it's a pleasure, John, really. And I remember that.
So, Santa, obviously, you know this is a political show, and no one really ever talks about the politics of Santa. I mean, how do you feel about our country in particular, and where you would consider yourself politically?
Well, John, really not a political guy. You could say I'm apathetic.
Really, Santa? I thought maybe you were just a slight bit depressed, honestly.
Oh no. I'm just old. Things seem to not really change that much. I remember when it was the Whigs versus Jacksonian Democrats.
Really, Santa? That's a long time ago.
Not for me, John, really. Seems like yesterday.
Well, could you tell me who's been naughty or nice?
Well, I'm obligated by the elf code not to say, but I have a really good feeling about you, John.
Well, what about our president, POTUS Supremo, President Donald J. Trump?
Well, let's just say a lot of people saying he is naughty are probably the ones getting coal in their stockings. But I said too much. I'm really gonna hear it from Mrs. Claus tonight.
You heard it here, folks. A political Santa says there's some bad hombres in Washington.
That's not really a big scoop, Johnny boy. I'm glad to have been here, though. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Santa. Could you give us a big ho 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 on your way out?
Oh no, I'm not allowed since the whole Me Too thing, but what the heck, I'm already in too deep. Here we go. Ho ho ho! Merry Christmas! Merry Christmas, John.
Ha! That was great! Well, thanks again. And I'm Jon Rodrigo with the Final Podcast Patriot News Show for the Final Podcast Network, signing off for our Christmas break. Until next time, later kids! Merry Christmas!